Hey Goobers, today we're kind of switching it up a bit. We're going to look at some shoes. Just as a disclaimer, I bought all these shoes with my own money, so I don't have any ties to any companies or anything. I did used to work at a running shoe store, but we sold all the main brands, so I didn't have any ties with that either. Today, we're going to talk about a New Balance shoe. It's the New Balance Fresh Foam X Hero V7. Now, I've used this shoe a lot. I've used its prior versions too, and I just didn't really get on with it. I thought it was kind of lackluster. The outsole wasn't that great. But this one, they've really stepped it up. So the shoe I have, this has probably had 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers in it, mostly on trails. As you can see, it's completely coated in mud. I've even taken this hiking on vacations. I've taken this when I only have one shoe to bring and I need to do everything in it. And I mean, it's just done everything I could have wanted. First, before I talk about the specs and kind of my opinion, we're going to break it down into a few different categories. We're going to break it down into the midsole, the outsole. We're going to talk about the upper, the laces, which is just kind of that lockdown fit. We're also going to talk about the versatility and then the value of the shoe. So we'll get into what each of those means later on. But first, I'm going to take you on a run with this shoe. It's very muddy on where I live today, so it's going to really put this through its paces. So let's go. Back from the run now. Now we're going to really dive deep into what this shoe is good at, what it's bad at. We're going to split those down into categories. The first one is going to be that midsole. So the midsole here is that New Balance's Fresh Foam X, which is their softest, most plush midsole foam. It's used in most of their daily trainers, and this is exactly that. And what's been nice about Fresh Foam X recently is they've really softened it up, but they've also made it a lot more durable. Now, it's hard to see in this shoe because it's so caked in mud, but usually you find those compression lines when the midsole is wearing down a lot. And I've had this shoe for almost 400 kilometers now, and there's not many signs of that, which is really impressive. And they've also kept the weight down by reducing that midsole weight as well, which is really nice. The Fresh Foam X midsole foam isn't great, it isn't bad, it's definitely a 7 out of 10. So that's what I've graded the midsole foam. Now that we've done the midsole, we're going to talk about the outsole. The outsole is one of the most important things to me because I feel like it really separates the shoes from just being a normal shoe that you just might go and grab and one that you're really excited to grab. And the reason I always went to go grab this shoe is because of that outsole. Now we have a Vibram Mega Grip, which coats the outside of the shoe, which is going to be really, really durable. I mean, you can see I've had this shoe for 400 kilometers. I've used it on cement. I've used it for tempo work, so there's going to be a lot of wear down. But even in the highest wear areas, right around here and around here, I mean, the lugs are still almost completely intact. This one's shaved down a little bit, but that's just going to happen over time. So this outsole rubber, very durable, very long lasting. And the lugs are also 4.5 millimeters deep. So if you ever do come into some mud or anything, it'll grab on, really dig into that mud. But importantly, since there's these big lugs on there, it's going to get rid of the mud when you flick your foot so that you aren't coated in mud on the bottom, and you'll actually still be able to grip mud for longer. So yeah, I've given this shoe an 8 out of 10 for that outsole. Now the next category we're going to talk about is that upper, which is everything that's going to cover your foot when you lock down. So importantly, one of the most impressive things that I found in this shoe is going to be that toe bumper. You can try to push this down, do whatever you want to it, and it's not going to bend. So if you ever hit a rock or root with your toe, you're not going to feel it. And a lot of issues with trail shoes that are a little bit more of a daily trail shoe is that these toe bumpers aren't going to be good whatsoever, and you're going to whack a root and feel in your toe, lose toenails. And if you don't have to lose toenails, I don't know why you'd want to. I can see that there is a bit of fraying along the overlay here, which attaches to that toe bumper. This is a mesh and synthetic upper that New Balance have gone with. It is pretty light, pretty breathable. It does get caked in mud, but it's still quite breathable. I mean, yeah, there's not much to write home about that. The best thing is going to be that toe bumper, and the heel is quite flexible, so it doesn't feel like you're really stuck in there. So if you have issues with blisters around that heel area, this heel pocket's quite wide, so it'll kind of help alleviate some of that. And it's still very structured because it has a bit of a wider base to it. So as far as the upper goes, I've given it a 7 out of 10. Very normal score. Nothing too crazy, nothing too shocking to hear about. But yeah, that's what I've given the upper on this shoe. Now the next category is going to be talking about laces. And I don't necessarily mean the laces, but that does play a role in it. What we're more talking about is how that lockdown fits. Now importantly, this shoe is connected to both sides of the shoe. So this tongue is a little bit more floppy than you might get. You don't have anything holding that those laces onto the tongue, which is a little bit of a downside because this can kind of flop around a little bit. I know a lot of people do have problems with that. I don't specifically, and I didn't with this shoe. And the next thing is going to be how much lace bite there is. And I'm going to be honest, if you tie your laces, even in a runner's knot, which I can show in another video, just comment down below if you need me to show that. I do find a little bit of lace bite when I tie it down a bit tighter if I'm going on a really technical trail, which I don't normally do in this shoe, but there are the occasions that I do that. There is a little bit of lace bite, so it's not great. The lockdown, I have had a few issues with blisters just on my toe hitting this because my foot's swiveling around, which isn't perfect, but overall it's pretty good. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10 for that. Now, the next thing is going to be the versatility. Now this category is probably one of my most important ones because when I get a shoe, I want to be able to know that it can slot into my shoe rotation for its purposes and try to fill as many purposes as it can. So this is a shoe that if I was going on a month vacation, I would take just this shoe with me, use it for easy runs. I would use it for tempo runs. I probably wouldn't race in it, but that's just because it's not really a racing shoe. And when I mean running tempo runs and easy runs, I would run this with this on the road. That's how soft that midsole is, and that's how durable this outsole is. It's not going to wear down too fast on cement, and it's going to give you that cushioning that you need, but it's also still pretty lightweight. And for a trail shoe, that is something that you can't really get. Now on that same vacation, I might go on hikes in this shoe, I might go on trail runs in this shoe, I might just walk around in it. I wouldn't if it looked like this because it's caked in mud, but it didn't look like this at one point. And yeah, I think this is a really versatile shoe. You can do almost anything you want. I probably wouldn't use it in a long run just because that midsole foam, there's not too much of it there, so your legs will start to ache by the end of it. But I've used it on 25K progression runs on cement. My legs have been fine after. Definitely other better shoes for that. But as far as a shoe that you can take and do whatever you want in it, this is a great option. So for that, I'm giving this shoe a 9 out of 10 for versatility. Now the last category is going to be the value of the shoe. And this is important because it's not versatility, it's not what you can use it for, how much stuff you can use it for, it's how much are you getting out of the shoe for the price that it's given. Now this is 145 pounds on New Balances, completely new. I found this shoe from 50 pounds on Sport Shoes and other websites, so definitely go look. They are limited in sizes, so it does make it a little bit difficult, and it's limited in colorways if that's what you're looking for. But we're going off that 145-pound price point, and honestly, you're not going to find many shoes under that, apart from a few shoes like the Peregrine, which might be 135 or around there. But this is a pretty good price point in this day and age for a running shoe. And as shown from the outsole and that midsole, you are going to get a lot of life out of this. I think you'll probably get in that general 300 to 500 miles. You're definitely going to get on the upper end of that, but I don't know how much more you get from that, just because that midsole foam will start feeling a bit dead after around 400 miles. So as far as that goes, I would give this shoe an 8 out of 10 for the value. Good value for money. I mean, I've bought another pair of these, but that's only because I found them for 50 pounds. And it's such a good vacation shoe that I plan on using it for vacations where I have to go run and I have to do hikes and stuff. So that's where I'm feeling, and that's why this shoe gets an 8 out of 10 for value. Now, as a full review, so I think this is one of the most versatile shoes I have in my rotation right now, especially in cross-country season where I want to get on the trails and kind of soften the blows when I'm in high mileage strength building and trying to work on my form through running in mud on those trails. This is a go-to. I'd use it for vacations. I use it almost every week on my easy runs. And yeah, if you're training for something and you only want to bring one shoe, there are more toned down colorways. This one used to be almost like a white colorway. It is not anymore because it's coated in mud. But yeah, it's good overall shoe, and I'd really recommend it to any of you. I will give the overall average score right here, and the rest of the scores, just in case you wanted to go back through them. As I do more reviews, I'll give more detailed scoring, and I won't do whole numbers, I'll do half numbers, but right now where we're just doing a few of the shoes, we're just going to make a little benchmark. And this is a perfect benchmark shoe because it gets it all done. It's not a bad shoe, it's not an amazing shoe, but I really have enjoyed it, and I hope you do too. So if you manage to get it, please comment down below, let me know what you think, and let me know what other shoes you want me to do, because I can go find them online. I have a lot of trail shoes, and I'm going to be doing more reviews just to kind of fill out my rotation for my shoes in cross-country season. And yeah, hope you have a good day. See you later, goobers.